origins of Dragon Man is a synthetic life form and occasional enemy of the Avengers. He is currently a member of the Future Foundation. Dragon Man is a synthetic life form created at Empire State University by Professor Gregson Gilbert. Unable to grant it life by himself, the villain Diablo animated him with his alchemy. The Thing would encounter Dragon Man after he spots Diablo in the laboratory. Dragon Man wraps his tail around the Thing and throws him through a window. Diablo orders the Dragon Man to seek out the rest of the Fantastic Four to destroy them. The Human Torch engages Dragon Man in the air and builds a fire fence around him. Dragon Man is unfazed and spews flame from its mouth, forcing the torch to absorb a tremendous amount of heat. The torch is superheated and blazes toward the upper atmosphere to safely disperse the heat he had absorbed. Reed and Sue Richards engage the beast, with the Invisible Woman wrapping a force field around Dragon Man's wings, causing him to crash. Sue Richards decides to approach the beast peacefully and see how Dragon Man responds to her kindness and sympathy. Dragon Man doesn't fight back and begins to stroke Sue's hair. Suddenly Diablo incapacitates Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, and the Thing with a potion while they were distracted with Dragon Man. Johnny Storm finds his fallen teammates and revives them. The Fantastic Four would find Diablo and Dragon Man at the edge of Dead Man's Lake. Diablo is about to use a freeze potion on the Fantastic Four until he is swept off his feet by Dragon Man's tail. The potion freezes the surface of the lake, and Dragon Man chases after Diablo. Dragon Man leaps onto Diablo, and they sink underneath the icy surface. Dragon Man and Diablo never resurface and were swept away by the strong current. Dragon Man is one of the most powerful androids ever created. Dragon Man has the mentality of a young child or docile dog, but it is easily controlled and manipulated by ultrasonics or hypnotism. Dragon Man is not evil in nature and used more so as a pawn for evil men with diabolical schemes. Throughout the years, Dragon Man has been used as a powerful pawn for numerous villains including Diablo, Ringmaster, Mad Thinker, Puppet Master and Machinesmith. Dragon Man has encountered numerous heroes including Spider-Man, the Hulk and Captain America, but most notably against the Fantastic Four. Dragon Man responds well to kindness and especially has a tender connection to Susan Richards and the Powers children. Dragon Man has recently been adopted by the Fantastic Four and has gotten close to the gifted children from the Future Foundation, especially Valeria Richards. Dragon Man has been reprogrammed by Valeria and now has super intellect and the capability of human speech. Dragon Man would slumber underneath the ground for months until he is reawakened during a fight between Johnny Storm and Medusa next to Dead Man's Lake. Medusa would use a vacuum gun on the torch and douse his flame when all the oxygen around him is drained away. However, the unexpected change in surface temperature rudely awakens the creature and Dragon Man breaks through the surface. Dragon Man initially attacks Medusa with his flaming breath, but its demeanor suddenly changes to tenderness when it touches Medusa's flowing red hair and is reminded of Sue Richards, the only human who had ever shown him kindness. The Inhuman known as Gorgon is seeking Medusa and attacks Dragon Man when he finds them together. Gorgon kicks a massive boulder towards Dragon Man and the creature retaliates with a fire blast. Gorgon evades the spewing flame and kicks Dragon Man. Medusa escapes during the battle, so Dragon Man ignores Gorgon and pursues the red-headed beauty. Dragon Man grabs Medusa's car and flies away, unaware that Gorgon is following them by helicopter. An injured Reed Richards would stretch outside his window of the Baxter Building to do a short-range spot check of the city when he notices something. Suddenly Reed is taken away, but the Thing and Sue Richards cling to his body until they are lifted into the air. They realized that Dragon Man grabbed Reed Richards and took the rest of the Fantastic Four to an abandoned building where Medusa was hiding out. The Thing sees Reed Richards laying on the ground and tosses Dragon Man off his feet. Medusa tells the Thing that Dragon Man was just trying to protect her when Gorgon comes crashing through. Gorgon sends a powerful shock wave that topples Dragon Man, causing him to plummet down the deserted structure. Dragon Man emerges from the fallen debris and flies away with Sue Richards in his grasp. Johnny Storm chases after Dragon Man but is hesitant to pepper the flying creature in fear of hurting his sister. Johnny generates a powerful, glowing light that temporarily blinds Dragon Man, causing him to release Sue Richards. Reed Richards and the Thing are amazed to see Dragon Man flying side by side with the Human Torch, with Sue Richards perched on the android's arm. Sue tells her family that Dragon Man has the mentality of a small child and can be easily tamed. The Fantastic Four decide to keep Dragon Man for studying, but it gets aggravated when the Thing tries to move him into his new quarters. Dragon Man starts to get out of control until Sue Richards shoots him with a tranquilizer gun. Sue treats the winged behemoth like a baby and places a giant blanket over his body as he sleeps. Dragon Man would be abducted during its sedative state by a man called Seeker while the Fantastic Four was preoccupied with the Inhumans underneath the city. Seeker was hunting Inhumans and believed Dragon Man was from that race. Seeker and his men placed electrically charged beryllium steel clamps to Dragon Man's wrists and held him captive on their carrier. Triton was also held captive alongside Dragon Man, but Seeker wanted the creature disposed of when they found out that it was an android. The tranquilizer wears off and Dragon Man is filled with rage. The powerful android shatters his shackles and destroys everything in its path as it rampages through the ship. Dragon Man feels no pain as it gets bombarded by laser guns and would accidentally free Triton from his water tank. Dragon Man continues on its destructive rampage until he smashes his way to freedom. The Thing and the Human Torch go after Dragon Man before he tears up the city. The Thing tackles Dragon Man and the two combatants end up crashing into the apartment home of Alicia Masters. Alicia would escape to safety while the Thing punches Dragon Man through the roof. The Torch starts to hammer the airborne android with ultraviolet rays from close range and Dragon Man starts to get weaker. Dragon Man would black out from a severe case of sunstroke and be detained by Reed Richards. Dragon Man would be shipped to a desert island where scientists tried to study him for months without learning the secrets of Diablo's life force. The Foreigner would hire a number of super-powered individuals to serve in his personal army during war over the crumbling Fisk criminal empire. The Foreigner wanted Spider-Man and the Blood Rose eliminated for their intrusion on his affairs. The Foreigner would call this group the New Enforcers, and it consisted of the Dragon Man, Blitz, Eel, Vanisher, Dreadnought, Super Adaptoid, Thermite, Tangle, and Plant Man. After a fight with Eel and Blitz, Spider-Man finds himself surrounded by Dragon Man, Dreadnought and the Adaptoid thanks to the teleportation powers of the Vanisher. The Vanisher leaves with Blitz and Eel while Spider-Man has to face three powerful androids. Spider-Man is able to survive that encounter and manages to place a spider tracer on Dragon Man before he flies away. Blood Rose infiltrates one of the Foreigner's compounds when he is greeted by Dragon Man, Super Adaptoid and Dreadnought. Blood Rose activates an interference signal that turns the Super Adaptoid into a giant magnetic pulse generator. The three powerful androids turn against each other and allows Blood Rose to escape. Dragon Man and the rest of the New Enforcers would eventually be defeated by Spider-Man and Blood Rose. Powers and abilities. Dragon Man is one of the most powerful androids ever created. Dragon Man possesses superhuman strength, stamina, agility, reflexes, and durability. He has been able to hold his own against the likes of Hulk, Hercules, Namor, The Thing, Blostar, and She-Hulk, among others. Dragon Man has 2 wings, providing him the capability to fly and can exhale methane gas, which is ignited by striking his specialized teeth. The flames he produces can reach a temperature of 8,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Dragon Man has superhuman resistance to injury but is vulnerable to intense cold and ultrasonic frequencies. Dragon Man has recently been reprogrammed by Valeria Richards and now has super intellect and the capability of human speech.